think it's also a Mexican philosophy. Like you feel that environmental issues are really far away, and so even though I've heard of it, I'm not that well informed of it. I've listened to discussions a little bit in school, but not really.
Okay. Have you watched any documentaries, movies, or news concerning global warming?
So I actually like I feel a little bit bad about it, but the most I've heard the documentary. I knew there was one just recently last year, but I haven't seen it. And of course, like you see all the Hollywood movies, but they're not actually documentaries. They're like more. So no, actually.
Okay, so you've seen Hollywood movies about
Yeah.
global warming, like Water Rise. What was it? Oh, Water War. I'm sorry. Maybe by Kevin Costner.
No, I haven't seen that one.
All right.
But I think more like fictional, you know, that the day after tomorrow, or like things like that.
Watch that. Okay. Have you heard about sea level rising and the melting of the ice and snow around the world?
I've heard of Antarctica, and but as I told you at the beginning, like there's this thing in Mexico where you feel that environmental issues are too far away from where you are.
Okay. When did you hear about it? When and where was the last time you heard about it?
The last time, well, I did this trip to Panama, and so it was a trip of.
Oh, you went there?
Yeah, I went to Panama.
Why you got so like tan?
Yeah, well, we were all so tan. But in that trip, it was actually an environmental trip. Even though my background is not in those issues, my background is more like social issues. But we were with a lot of scientists where they were discussing a lot about global warming and like preserving the forest and the importance of preserving the jungle there, the dry forest over there as enough like to ease out the effects of global warming.
Oh, so was Panama one of like endangered countries?
No, but like it has a lot of the forests, like international forests, and it's concentrated there. And well, I'm not the right person to talk about like that, but and so it's one of like to conserve those areas. It's a way to like help global warming. That's what I understood.
Okay. All right, so it's kind of not serious yet. Okay. How much are you interested in the issue of sea level rise and melting of ice around the world? How much are you interested in that?
I think I'm more interested if, okay, this is gonna sound really, I'm more interested in things that happen in a 100-year basis, you know? I'm more interested on social issues, as I was saying, more as like that concern the right now life. But I think I'm changing on that side, and
Because it's correlated.
yeah, because it's getting more close to our daily life, no? So yes, I am.
Okay, that's good to hear. What are some facts you're aware of sea level rise in your own country, which is Mexico?
So as I was explaining you before, I don't live that much in a beach or
You don't live on the coast area.
but like I know more about climate change because of the place I live. Climate change has been a big
Can you point out
recently.
where you live?
I live on here, Monterrey. That is like 3 hours from Tampico, and this is more like a industrial beach, so you don't go that much to that. But I do travel a lot over beaches, but I haven't heard that much of it. But I know it's happening, but not really heard about it.
Have they been in the news? Maybe like how people affected who live on the coastal area?
And mostly, what is in the news in Mexico that are beaches is contamination issues, because it's really how you call it? it's a really touristic. All our beaches are really touristic. So every time that beaches are in the news, like environmental issues about the sea, it's mostly because of contamination and like cleaning the beaches so tourists can have access to it. So it's like a more touristic vision of it.
Okay. So I guess sea level rise is not that kind of a serious issue right now. Okay.
Maybe it is, but media pay more attention into what affects touristic. About Cancun, what happened, was it 3 years ago? The hurricane that came and the beach disappeared completely. But the community integrated themselves so fast that they made a new beach in 1 month, 2 months. So it's like all the sea concerns are mostly into like developing, because it's one of our main ways of earning money. How you call it? Like.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Okay. So it's not as a serious issue in your country right now, the sea level rise. So
It might, but not that I know.
Do you ever like show at schools, public, or museums, or?
Mexico, we don't have that much. Well, maybe more my city. My city is more industrial and really like about producing. It's a really productive city, and we don't have any really good programs of environmental. Like I had a class. I had to take a class in my undergrad, and that it was called environmental class. We call it. I don't even remember the name. And in that class, you discuss international problems, but it wasn't really engaging or informative. And also our institutions, our Semarnap, I think it's called, it's not really helpful on informing about it. We're more worried about contamination. As in Mexico City, it's a big problem, like pollution. It's a big problem. I think it's pollution and not contamination. I've been using contamination, but it's pollution.
Okay. So the last time you heard about that issue was in your school, undergrad.
Yeah, in my undergrad.
But ever since then, you didn't hear about that.
Environmental issues in Mexico.
Like in museums, do they have museums or?
But not about sea rise. Like I've heard. I travel a lot, and I saw this museum of like affecting the butterflies that immigrate. There's a lot of butterflies who immigrate to Mexico, and I saw that museum, but there's nothing about what.
Okay. How do you think sea level rise will affect your own country? Maybe not for
A lot.
in the future, a lot.
I think more because our country mainly and it's around there, and our economy depends a lot on touristic developments all around our country. There's everywhere.
Okay. Have you heard about like problems in Gulf of Mexico? Like
Me?
sea level is rising rapidly there?
No. Well, we were again really concerned of the Gulf of Mexico was that there was like many petroleum sites to get petroleum, and so the water was really contaminated. So that's mostly what you heard, but you don't hear that much about it.
Okay. Do you think sea level rise and melting of ice will affect you personally? How and why? Maybe it affect your family or relatives. I mean, not if you live high.
I'm not actually. If I think personally, I'm not a really. My family doesn't depend anything on. We're really more into land use. So my family is actually farmers, from a farmer's vision, and personally, no, I don't see how it would affect me. Maybe with time, of course, and it will affect my country and maybe my economy in a long term, and so it will affect me in a way. But not that I can tell you right now personally.
You're going back to your country after ITP?
Yes, I plan not maybe after, but in the long term, I am thinking going back to it.
So do you think this issue will affect your country maybe long in the future?
Yes.
Okay.
I think. Well, but I have to read more about it. I don't know that much about it.
It's totally okay.
actually, just when you came and asked me about it, I was gonna Google it, but I said no, I'm not, because I want to be realistic of what I know and what I don't know. But actually, you saw me, I was working in Google Maps, and some of the first thing I see is like animation of sea level rises. It was just there, on the same page that I was watching, and it was curious because maybe I've seen many of them, but I didn't pay attention until you mentioned the interview. So I think, yes, I am gonna read more about it.